Okay, are we good? Sorry about that. The Wi-Fi went a little berserk. Oh my lord. I might have to restart my computer depending how this goes. Hopefully I won't have to, but we'll see. Guys, no. Go lay down. Hey, down. Crazy. Uh-oh. Looks like... Okay. Okay. Maybe it's getting better. So far, so good. Okay. It disconnected there for a bit. Okay, Google. Play Spotify on the kitchen speaker, please. It's a bit loud. Okay. We're good. It's the manager's job to assist. I know, right? They're hungry. Hey, get out of the garbage. Get out of the garbage. This guy gets in the garbage. Listen, I know you guys are hungry. I will get you guys food in a bit, okay? Oh, Spudgy's sitting against the wall right there. It's so dark in here. I need to set up the lights again. Anywho, okay. You guys go lay down. Go lay down. Go on. Go lay down, please. Stalkers. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so thank you for the likes. Thank you guys. Sorry about that. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. Okay, essentially think of me as... Are you gonna passive? Yes, I should have. I'm sorry. How could I be so forgetful? How could I? I'm not a doctor. I'm just your friend in the phone. However you see me, sister, friend, aunt, mom, dad, whatever the fuck. I don't give a shit. Okay. But all I can say is if you came to me and you're like, hey, I'm depressed, I'd be like, what are you eating first? Okay. You got to get that good bacteria in there to fight those demons. But for real. And then from there, you have to, I think a lot of people have, you know, dopamine issues. And you got to figure out what the root of it is, you know. And I could, you know, for myself, I could see myself becoming depressed if I don't have enough to do or something like that. Because I'm trying to get a dopamine fix, especially with my joints being healthier, but I can't quite get out, you know. So I could see myself like it's a fine line that I'm writing because it's like I could see myself getting into some sort of whatever, you know, just trying to get like a little dopamine fix, not anything bad, but like I don't know, riding my bike a little early because I really just want to, you know, but my joints feel good and like I'm ready to go kind of thing. So I'm trying to like be very cautious of like, okay, I really like I just want to get out and do stuff, you know, but okay, I'll put it into art. I'll put it into content creating. So that way, you know, it'll pay off for me in the end, you know. I'll forgive you for this time. Okay, thank you. So that's kind of how I see it. And, you know, like I said earlier, a lot of this world doesn't really prioritize rest. And I think you guys have seen on my stream how awful people can be. And they'll be like, you're just lazy, blah, blah. But I want to remind y'all, the biggest philosophers in the world, the highest IQ people, prioritize rest. And you should. And I know a lot of people find that difficult because of jobs and stuff like that. But the second I started prioritizing rest, other things fell in line. You will find a job that falls in line with the rest that you want to get, whether it be making your own schedule or whatever, because you want that so bad. Now, some people don't need that, okay? Some people don't want rest. If you just want something different that maybe is led by happiness more than what you have going on, then, you know, what's going on, but I agree with the rest being super important. Pretty 100%, yeah. Oh, we're just talking about like depression because I was thinking today in my car ride, in the last few days, I'm like, like it feels so nice because for me, like my depression is derivative from my joints and like how good my joints are. And I've learned how good my joints are is derivative of my gut health as well. But also my mind is from my gut health too. And I think that's key for a lot of people. But I think the biggest thing is people need to Anthora, hello. Much love to you. I think people really need to be so easy on themselves when they're depressed. Especially because rest is the number one thing that's going to help you. Um, Even when you are sleeping, things are still happening subconsciously. Workings are happening. So trust that rest is so productive. Rest is recovery. At this point in my life, okay, when I am struggling, our first indicator, like when I'm struggling with money, let's say that, right? Because a lot of times it is. I want to jump into working, doing something, work, 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 work. But I'm trying to trust that the universe would bring me money. So, and I don't want to have to always work so hard for my money because if I'm sick, then I can't work hard. I want something that just makes money for myself. And so you have to start prioritizing things differently if that's what you want, right? And that's not going to be easy, but it's worth it, especially if you want to prioritize your mental health, which I highly suggest y'all do, because these jobs don't give a crap about you, okay? Not in a mean way. Some jobs do care about you, but not all of them, okay? And I know I get a lot of hate for it, but this has always been my philosophy with it because I have bigger goals. I want to own a restaurant, like a multi-million-dollar restaurant and stuff like that. So you could just want to lay in your home all day and do nothing. That's okay. But the thing is I think a lot of people are in fight, flight, fawn, just survival, okay? And so they don't really know what makes them happy anymore. They don't, none of that. They don't even care. But once you start getting out of survival and once you start getting into this, prioritizing your happiness, your rest, your recovery, your sleep, your health, your well-being, which is an act of self-care, don't forget. It doesn't always look like puppies and rainbows, but prioritizing rest when you're depressed is important, and not sacrificing your energy to people please is so important. And that's a journey that I've learned to just like, okay, my friends know that my joints are bad and my mental health is bad. And if they take offense to that, then I can't do shit about that. And those are not my friends, okay? And that, oh shit, Zorby, hello. How you doing? Welcome in. Rob, hello. Cleaning glass out of right. And a lot of people will shit on you for working smarter and not harder. And there's nothing wrong with working hard. As a matter of fact, physically I want to work hard. But the thing is when you are depressed or if you're going through any kind of mental anything, okay? You have to prioritize that because of sustainability, all right? You can't work on a sick mind. It's like, running on a car with no gas or no oil, eventually it ruins the car. And it's better to take care of the vessel and preemptively, what do you call it? Like, I don't know, like take care of yourself before something bad happens, right? So, a lot of times I think when people want to prioritize rest, they're like, but my job, but this, but that. And that's the difficult part. Is the rest that important to you? Okay. If it is, then you'll prioritize it in a way like maybe you can work it out with your boss or like something. And that's where I like social media because, I needed to sleep a lot. Like now I fucking don't even want to sleep. I like have to put myself to bed. Like I go to bed at midnight and wake up at 4. I accidentally woke up at 5 today and I went to bed at midnight. Like, oh no. But still, like when I'm healthy, I don't care to sleep. I've slept so much. I don't want to sleep anymore. I just want to do all the things. So I'm ready to go. And that's where like I don't care what people say. People can call me lazy while I'm sick all they want. First off, I do everything around here even though I'm sick. So you can never call me fucking lazy cuz. But regardless, now that I'm getting better, I'm just like full speed ahead, and I'm not even better yet. Like we're not even full speed yet, you know. So, oh, my phone froze. Fucking, it might be this Wi-Fi. I don't know. Maybe I have to upgrade my Wi-Fi. This is gonna be terrible. I'm not looking forward to seeing what that costs. Beep. Oh, 3K. Thank you. Yautsin, hello. We're doing good. Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing, like I said, a lot of higher up people prioritize rest, okay? I'm not saying you're a bad person or anything. Like, there's a lot of people who want to do the nitty gritty work. I feel like I am one of them, but on a different level. Like, I don't want to do it right now. I want to get to a point where I own a business and I don't mind doing the nitty gritty work of that business, right? So I see it in a different way, but there's people, you know, this isn't always like cut dry for everyone. But regardless, if you're in something and you feel depressed, it might be a lack of just dopamine seeking, okay? Or dopamine things. And maybe that's just meaning you need to go out and do some stuff for yourself, some self-care, okay? And it's okay to do that. Please do that. Like if you need anyone to tell you to do that, please do that. It's investing in yourself and that pays off. I know people are like, "Oh, I don't want to spend money on myself. I don't want to." The universe rewards you, I swear to God, okay? This is why I do what I do on my channel and I open my fucking mouth about every stupid little thing because I want you guys to see like okay, like I'm doing this and I hope the universe rewards me with the return energy, you know? Because I'm taking this leap of faith or I'm prioritizing my self-care. Like for instance, you know, when I remember my first time going through the eviction, like for a bit, I was like, oh my God, I need to, and same with the second time. I was like, I need to be streaming constantly, nonstop to earn this money. And then like, I needed to step away though, you know, I thought I had to be there always to earn the money, earn the money, earn the money. And, you know, stepping away was better for my mind. It was better for my body and getting the flow of the energy out and everything like that, you know? So, are you okay? Okay. I do the same. But, you know, we're always ingrained to think that the the money will come with all of this hard work. But for me, you know how I say like I don't know physically how much work I can do to earn $4 million for a restaurant startup. So when these people tell me to get a job, I'm like, that's not, you don't understand what I'm trying to do, you know? So to me, that's like very unrealistic. And they're over here thinking I'm unreal, you know? So it's like, there's no middle ground. It doesn't even matter. But nonetheless, prioritizing your self-care, whatever that looks like, and a lot of times that does look like rest, okay? And the upper people prioritize rest so much, okay? Not everybody needs rest, okay? There was a time when I rested so much. I shit you not. I think I slept, you guys, for like 3 years. Okay, like since I moved back to Arizona, I was working and then like I quit all my jobs. And that's when I started like the sleeping phase. And it was like 2.5, almost 3 years of just sleeping. Like sometimes 14-hour days and then waking up to eat and then going right back to bed. That is not normal, okay? And when if that's you, you have to understand that something about you is sick and not in a bad way like, oh, you're sick, you need to get help. No. Just take care of yourself, okay? That's really a time when you need to be pulling inward and not sacrificing all of your energy for people who don't give a shit if you keeled over tomorrow, okay? And I know it's difficult when we have these jobs, but here's the thing is we live in a beautiful world nowadays where there's DoorDash, Instacart, social media. There's so many ways to make money online. There's so many work from home jobs. There's so many jobs that allow you to make your own schedule, you know, and you just have to take that risk. I know that sounds a little scary, but when you put that energy out there to trust, good things happen, okay? And there's no quick fix to just curing your depression. You can take all the meds you want, you know. For me, you know, I don't see the herbal bushage, you know, the shrubbery as bad. Buck, hello. Some people do. There's a fine line of using it to abuse and or using it, you know. So there, with anything, there's a fine line. But all I can say, if you're my depressed friend sitting across from me, and I'm like, hey, this is what I would do to get out of this depressive funk, it starts with what you eat, you know, but you don't have to sacrifice everything. I know people are on a budget, you know, but you have to realize, do you want to feel this way your whole life? Probably not. Okay. You got to start doing things differently in life, because you know what the saying is, like, if you keep repeating what you're doing and expect a different outcome, that's like a sign of insanity. So if what you're doing right now is not making you happy, you got to figure out what's going on. And here's the thing that I'm going to tell you is that it sounds kooky and whatever, but you can't rely on a future moment to create your happiness, okay? You got to look at what's here and now, and that's part of a lot of people's problems when they're depressed, is that they're looking for a future moment for that to make them happy. When there's so much around to be happy for, you could literally be homeless, okay? I'm so grateful that I'm not, like, every fucking day. And I have food, you know, I have a car, you know, and I think even if you are homeless, you know, you're alive. If you have your health, you have your health. Some people don't have their health. There's always something. And let's say maybe you are homeless, don't have your health, don't have your mental health, you don't even know what to do, okay? There's going to be little glimpses of your day that you can capture gratitude in. The beautiful sunrise. You have a lot of freedom, okay? Um, you know, there's a lot, there's, I don't want to say there's a lot of advantages, because some people are going to be like, oh, that's easy to say when you're in a home and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to say it that way, but when they say there's always something to be grateful for, it's to practice gratitude, because that energy of always, you know, lack and okay. And so here's the thing is, when I first went through like my first eviction, I really sat with that feeling. I was like, okay, what the fuck am I doing? What got me here? You know, you got to take accountability at some point, right? We can blame everyone around us, but who's going to fix the situation? No one's going to save you. You have to save yourself, okay? Once you deem yourself worth saving, others will show up to the plate and start helping you save yourself. I know that because I created this community, and that's exactly what the fuck happened. So I remember sitting and like seeing all these ladies like manifesting and shit like that, right? And talking about it online, and I'm like, there's truth to this, but I don't know where. Like, let me figure it out, right? So I didn't want to have to experience homelessness to understand it. I really did not want to be homeless, okay? But I tried to understand on a homeless level, like, if I were homeless, how would I manifest out of this life? And if I were depressed, like, what would I do, you know? No ID, no social security card, no money, no phone. What would I do, you know? And what is the mindset that I would have? And truthfully, you know, I have a lean into it kind of method, and that's what I would do. You know, I honestly, I would find a phone. Social media, once again, is a beautiful tool. I'd figure out social media. People are making millions on TikTok, okay? Camping is free. You're in the wilderness, you're probably going to be in the wilderness for a bit or some sort. You know, if you want to be a homeless person in the city, that's fine too. You know, just find yourself a way to get phones, social media, or something. Resources, there's resource offices, you know. But I think the value of gratitude is that it doesn't matter what you do. There's going to be happiness and there's going to be beauty in whatever you're doing, right? So you might be homeless, but you get to be able to observe people on such a different level. People are awful to you, probably. People see you so differently, and you get treated differently, and you get to observe people like a fly on the wall, you know, and you have a unique perspective that you're gaining from this moment, because it's temporary if you believe it is. And I know that sounds kooky, but you probably want a home, you probably want food, and you deserve that, and you got to realize you deserve that. People will give that to you, but the level of it that you deserve, that you want, you got to start strutting it for yourself for sure. Zorby, thank you. Um, Spudgy, oh my god, her itchy paws. You know, and I know that sounds, I feel like it's probably sounding privileged from where I'm at to in a certain extent. I probably, I don't know where, but I really tried to put myself in that visionary shoe moment because I didn't want to physically be there. Okay, I didn't want to physically have to learn the lesson to understand. And so that's where, like, there's a lot of options when you're homeless. A lot of people make it out of homelessness, okay? People become very ingenuitive, people in these times that they need money. And that's a lot of times where I fell through. When I was younger, my dad was drinking a lot and passed out a lot with his girlfriend. And he, stopped working. Smudgy, please get out. Go, out, go, go. Sorry, she's like itching her paw, and it's all I hear. But there's a point where there was no money coming in, and I was 7, 6, 7, making art and selling it to buy hot dogs and stuff for us at the grocery store, right? Like there's a certain level of what you want and you going after it being there for sure. No one's gonna give it to you, and that's the shitty part. But what I can tell you, please know, as a testimony through what I've been through, especially with this streaming channel and everything, which I'm so grateful. Like, I talk about the philosophy of it and like the steps of it and the process of it. And I want to prove that to you guys. And it sucks to go through it, but I'm grateful to go through it so that you guys can see it. You guys can see the process, because I wouldn't want it any other way, right? So you got to learn that this is your process. This is your journey, and you're learning through these things. Hello, Jeff. Exclusive hello. So whatever it is, even if you're not homeless, whatever you're struggling with that's making you feel depressed, maybe your job isn't fulfilling. Like, you're probably not making decisions. Runts. Oh, hell yeah. Nice. Flavor of the day. You're probably making decisions that aren't serving the best of yourself, and you're people pleasing. And stop being such a yes man. I'm there to say, as a former recovering people pleaser, you got to stop being such a yes man. That's damaging you, okay? People who want to use you, they will get mad at you if you limit their supply. Never in a million years would anybody be like, oh, I don't know, you could put down any boundary with me, and I'd be like, okay, hell yeah, I respect that. Even if you want to talk to me once a year, I'd be like, all right, do what you need to do. Hell yeah. Like, people who really respect you and love your autonomy and who you are and want to see your journey, like your journey and your growth, will be a hell yeah about it, okay? And you don't need any kind of less people. And when it comes to being depressed, I've learned that I was doing, things out of codependent whatever. I was eating things to fill a void, to fill a dopamine void, right? I was choosing people to fill a validation dopamine void, right? A lot of it was just out of like feeling of lack of myself. So I unfortunately had to sit with myself, and I know a lot of people don't like that answer. Depression, there's no quick fix. Medicine is going to help, but it's not going to get to the root. It's going to be a daily thing that you have to take, and if you don't take it, things will spiral, kind of thing. And I'm not saying get off your meds or anything like that. Please continue to take them. I am one to say that you can use both. I'm a big person on using holistic, pseudo, whatever the hell, along with Western medicine, because I do the same. Feel the pain. Oh, thank you, exclusive. But thank you for the likes, you guys. Welcome in. We're also on Twitch if you guys want to come hang out. Thank you for all the likes, though. We're also earning for rent. We're going to be earning more serious the next 3 days because it's due on the 3rd. Hope to God we make it. Maybe a miracle will happen. Who fucking knows? But I really had to get that art piece done. I have a lot more to do tomorrow and some Rangoons. I have like this art series that I'm doing. It's like 9 of them. And you'll see tomorrow. It's going to be funny. Thank you, Joe. It's going to be funny and cool. And then 3 more Rangoons. And then I have to edit the Rangoon videos behind on that. And then Wednesday, I hope we make the French toast sandwich finally from the Adventure Time book. Anyway, so, I think a lot of us accidentally do things because we don't realize and we think we're supposed to do things. I did that for a while. I was doing jobs and stuff because I thought we were supposed to do certain things, and that's not what you're supposed to do. You know, what makes you happy is what makes you happy. No one can tell you otherwise. And that's what you should be leading by. It's a little hedonistic. You know, there's a balance between it. There's things that you have to do. You can't always just do 100% what makes you happy. Like, building this PC, I fucking hated it. I'm not going to lie. But I knew the end goal was going to be what I wanted, the podcast and shit like that. And I waited because if you were on my Twitch before, I had a shitty little gaming laptop. And this laptop was beaten to smithereens because these boyfriends that I dated would throw my shit around. And there was one point where it got thrown around and like I had soup on my nightstand and the soup had spilled on it. And it was still running and like you could hear it, it would be like it would make this weirdest sound. And it was struggling, man. And I used it to stream with Twitch along with my phone. And that's where I say, like, when you want to get started with something, just get started. Okay? Don't wait till you have all the equipment, because I sure as hell didn't. People would be like, what's that sound? And I'd be like, oh, that's my computer, my laptop. I know, right? Rangoons. Throwing the boyfriend in the soup, I wish, right? Yeah, that thing got thrown around, dropped. Ugh, it was terrible. Yeah, thank you, Bubbas. You guys are great. But yeah, so what was I getting with that? I don't remember. But yeah, oh yeah, so I started on that. And then before I moved out, I bought this on Black Friday. I decided not to build it until I moved out. And then I moved out and then built it. And I knew that I wanted to continue my podcast. I knew that I wanted a room for my podcast. And I've been wanting to get people onto my podcast. That's been the difficult part, because with my schedule being weird and flaky and other people being weird and flaky, which I understand, it gets a little intimidating. It's a little difficult, but we're going to get there. Once I get the back couch and everything, Sierra is great. She likes to come on. So she helps with that, and maybe she'll be my guest for a while and only her. I don't know. But we'll get there nonetheless. But I knew the end goal, and I still am working towards the end goal, right? So, because I don't really like the setup. I don't really like I'm not a gamer. So I don't need to be up close like this in the computer, you know? There's a dog hair on my lip, sorry. Zan, hello! How would you make it good? Make what good? Okay, sounds good, Anthorette. So, you know, trust the process, just end goal kind of thing. Whatever the fuck. But anyway, how would you make it good podcast? I don't know what you're talking about. It already is good. We're doing it right now. I'm like, okay, sounds good, Anthorette. But I want my seating to be different. I want, you know, SpongeBob's couch? I want to recreate that on the back wall. You know when people have podcasts, how they have like a couch and they have like a 2-person setup and then like a chair and stuff. I want SpongeBob's couch and then a little chair, like SpongeBob's chair, but more like someone can sit in it and we can chat, right? And then I want a table. I want the little shelf, like speakerphone thingy. And we'll have 2 little microphones. And then I want a little snack cart. And I want a few decor. I want the Doodle Bob pencil that I have to make, the haunted shopping list. And then I want to make some portals. Shuko made me some portals, but they're too small. I'm not going to lie. I want to make some big ones that you guys can see from back here. Because the camera will still be on this wall. It'll just that you can see my whole body and I'll be on a couch alone or with someone else, you know. And maybe I'll have a 2-camera perspective and then have the dog camera. But I have to figure out how to... I have a thing that doesn't split that many. So, what is going on? That would be cool. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So, like, I know a lot of people, when they stream like this, it's because they're gaming. I'm not much of a gamer. You guys know that. I like gaming occasionally, and we will. But other than that, I like to do my little podcasty stuff and just chat with y'all, you know, and just shoot the shit, the stuff we talk about. I'm inspired by Trisha Paytas. I've never watched her podcast, but that's kind of like, she just seems to shoot the shit kind of like that. So it makes me like, okay, I can do that too, right? Like, it's what I've been wanting to do and what I have been doing on a smaller scale, but I kind of got discouraged because like, I feel stupid. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing, you know? But then I saw her and I was like, oh, okay, so I was doing fine. So then I was like, okay, let me keep doing it then. And here I thought it was a playa. Hell yeah, you know I am, boy. Uh, but yeah, all I can say, you know, it's difficult having depression. None of this is easy. I'm not telling you the easy route. I'm telling you the rip the band-aid off route. If you want to just get her the fuck done, if you're just sick of this shit, get it over with kind of stuff. I've learned that the gut microbiome is very important. Start eating your fucking yogurt, okay? Not Yoplait, okay? It needs to have probiotics and live cultures in it. That's what you need to look for, because that good bacteria needs to kill that bad bacteria that's causing the bad thoughts, okay? The demons. Anyway, um, so that would be my first recommendation. Start getting some fiber in you, some potatoes, not French fries, okay? Some baked potato or something, mashed potatoes, or you know, low heat potatoes, even in a burrito or something. Um, and then just start thinking of what the hell makes you happy. And even non-depression wise, I'd have to say we all pretty much, I'd like to think you guys have gathered by this time that that's kind of what I lead by. Yes, ADHD is by the dopamine, forgive me. But this is for the neurodivergence. Anyway. But I do have a theory that I think neurodivergent people are supposed to kind of transform the world into showing that you should be leading by happiness. Because if people did things that made them happy but not hurting people in a healthy way, the world would be a way better place. Way better place. Energetically speaking, way better. A lot of us do things that don't make us happy. I'm not saying 9 to 5s don't, because a lot of people work great 9 to 5s that they love, great benefits, boss, you know, all that good stuff. I'm not trying to demonize the workplace, because I want to own a business and I would like to think my workplace would be like one of those good places. You know, I know they exist, but we know when they get corporatized and stuff like that, like sometimes they're just not good. Even when they're not corporatized, but nonetheless, you know, prioritize your happiness. And I know when you're depressed, you're like, what happiness? But for real, like, what makes you happy? Is it something as simple as ramen? That's okay. Maybe you should start going out for ramen more, you know? And okay, I don't have money for that. Okay, well, how can we make money? Where are you at right now mentally? What are you willing to do to make money? You know, and that's kind of where, like, I started with OF. Like, I was willing to take cutesy pictures, you know, and fucking dog hair floating. But now that I'm getting better, like, I can start making art pieces and entertaining people more with videos and podcasts and stuff like that. So, you know, think of where you're at right now. Think of realistically what would make you happy if you change course. Like, what would you do? You know, don't think about money. Don't think about this. But be realistic. Don't be like, okay, I only can do something that makes me a lot of money. Don't think of it like that. Okay. Think of it. Oh, thank you, Babas. Thank you. Think of what makes you happy and think of what's sustainable and think of where in that realm, like, is there a job that fits that's maybe hiring? Is there a position that kind of correlates to that? I'll put it this way. I want to own a restaurant. Every job that I've owned in the corporate world correlated to owning a restaurant, even tech, because for my restaurant is very techy, but nonetheless, POS systems are very techy. So you need to know tech if you're going to be managing any kind of restaurant shit at this point in the game. So it might not directly look like, you know, oh, this is going to correlate with what you want to do in the future, but it probably will support that little dopamine and you'll be learning stuff. And these jobs don't have to be forever. Don't forget that. Okay. You don't need to be working at jobs for 20 years to be getting raises. Now, can you? Yes. But maybe if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what to do. I'm speaking from experience because this is what I did. I knew I wanted to own a restaurant, but I didn't know how I was going to do it with these fucking mediocre ass jobs. So I just did jobs that really correlated to what I wanted to do in my future and just use them as learning opportunities, you know, customer service wise, procedure wise, even with like Jimmy John's and stuff. Like I learned their procedures and things like that. And I'm like, okay. And like I went to restaurants and worked for them and stuff like that. So it, all of it implements the end goal. And as long as you're just doing stuff that makes you happy, if it excites you and you're like, oh, this looks like it could be fun, then do it. Do it. All you have to do is rewrite your resume to cater to those skills. You can do it. And if you don't do it, then if you don't want to do it, you can just quit. Nobody says you have to stay at that job. Okay? Like literally treat it like Sims. Okay? Just work it for a day. I've left so many jobs after 2 days. The FBI is not going to come after you. Okay? They'll still pay you. At a certain point, you gotta, just hell yeah, Jimmy John's. I know, I love Jimmy John's. It's so funny because when I worked at Jimmy John's, I love that this is my lore. I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like it's very descriptive of me wanting to own a bakery restaurant too. But I would be sent home with the day old bread, right, the big ass loaves, and I would do 0 hour in school, so I'd get there way before everyone. With we'd do drill team and stuff. So obviously the other people were there, the other school kids that were in my team, but I would pass out like these giant Jimmy John like French loaves, and you would just see kids walking around with like giant French loaves, like tons of them, because I had a shit ton of them, but they were for free. So I would just pass them out because I knew kids were hungry. I enjoyed eating just a giant loaf like a fucking peasant first thing in the morning. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. I fucking loved their bread. I loved eating the innards of the bread. I would just, because there's certain sandwiches that you make that you take the innards out, and I would just put them in my apron and just fucking eat that shit all day. Oh my god, it's so good. But yeah, when I was younger in high school, when I started working, I was the bread lady because of that. So yeah, literally, yeah, the day old bread, you guys, if you haven't checked it out, Jimmy John's, absolutely go get it. It's discounted. It's so good. It's fresh. It's amazing. I say fresh, but it's day old, of course, but it still tastes amazing the next day. Hence why like all these kids and myself were like eating giant loaves of bread around campus. But you know, it's depression or not, it's a chore to prioritize happiness. I'm going to tell you that right now. So prioritizing happiness means, starting now. Okay, I know shit can be distressful. I remember when I was in my shitty apartment, I had a lot that was really shitty. My joints were fucking worse. But there's something always to be grateful for. My dogs, always. Um, and in my heart, I know it sounds crazy. I've always known that I'm going to be wealthy and have this restaurant and have, just these good things. I've always wanted to be a motivational speaker. I've always wanted to have my own cooking show and like have it like a home cooking show and like going out to restaurants like at Anthony Bourdain kind of stuff. Like I wanted to do it all, right? But I've always known in my heart that I was going to do it all, but I didn't know how. And through the times when I was really depressed, I just held on to that. But more so, my dogs helped me push through that. So when you're depressed, it doesn't have to be some crazy goal that you're clinging to, but just in the moment, look for those little sparkles of just to keep going, And I know that sounds stupid, but I promise you it gets better. When you start recognizing, and you're here and now. So I hope you watching this, if you're depressed and you're watching this, you're like, okay, I'm going to start trying to like implement this stuff. I hope it helps. I'm only speaking from experience, okay? This is not shit that I'm just like reading offline. It's stuff I read offline and then I tried out with myself. And at this point I've really prioritized my home life, what it looks like. That's why I refuse to get roommates, because I don't want to fucking have anyone disrupt my mental well-being. Because the reason why war exists is because peace is so hard to choose over everything, okay? People will taunt you. People will try to do everything they can to get you out of peace, okay? It takes a lot of energy to hone into yourself, to not bicker with people, to not entertain negative situations, to just mind your own and keep your home peaceful and not have boundaries that allow unpeaceful people and negative people around, right? That's why like I don't do roommates. I don't even want to date, okay? Like, I don't want anyone in my home that's going to disrupt the energy. Odin disrupts it enough. But nonetheless, he doesn't really. He just barks a lot. But nonetheless, not really a lot. But you guys know, he's chaotic sometimes. He's fine right now, most of the time. Oh, who sent that? Brownie, thank you. Ooh, I want a brownie. Are they good? Yeah, they're really good. Yeah. I like Jimmy John's bread. It's nothing like, wow, life-changing, but it's really good for bread, for some soft baked good bread. Thank you for the corgis. Oh my god. We are earning for rent, you guys. We're gonna do 2,600 because I'm scared. I didn't email them. I'm gonna email them tonight. Well, I gotta see if I can log into my account. Maybe I don't need to email them. But I'm anticipating fees. We'll see what it is. Even then, I want to put a little balance on my account so that I look like a good tenant. But nonetheless, we are earning for rent. If you want, check out the link in my bio. I just created a really big piece, okay? It took me a while. It took me a long ass time. It's an abstract piece, okay? It's not supposed to be anything like hyper realistic. No, nothing. So it's just supposed to look great. It's supposed to just look cool on your wall and be fucking awesome. Yes, it's expensive because what the fuck? I'm an artist. I'm making a living. I don't care. But check it out if you want. If you click on it, it helps with the views and stuff like that, if anything. So I'm grateful for you taking a peek. Get a coffee and smoke, write down 3 things that everyone may overlook that you're grateful for. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, as a matter of fact, when I first started this journey more seriously, every day I took into practice 10 things I'm grateful for. And I'm going to tell you how gratitude works, okay? How much? I don't know, like 6K almost. Thank you for the follow. So gratitude is on a, like, I don't want to say like scientific level, but it's like a legit thing, okay? The way it works, and the book that I've learned this from is called Psycho-Cybernetics, okay? I've talked about this being like my, kind of like my Bible, okay? But it talks about how spiritual and quantum work together, like what it is, you know? And it's exactly what I'm about to talk about, right? So, um, badass art. Thank you. That is so nice of you guys, for real. Thank you for all the likes, too. Um, but gratitude is you just looking at the objective goal, right? So when you ride a motorcycle, where you turn is where your head is looking. So you can turn in the opposite direction. That's, you know, if you're a skilled rider. But when you first start riding, when they teach you to turn, you need to look way past where your turn is because your bike and your body follows, right? So you'll find when people get into accidents and stuff and they're not turning, it's because they've hyper fixated on a point, right? So when you are focused on gratitude, you are fixating on the positive points. Now, you might not even know where you're going, okay? You don't need to know. But what you are focused on are the good things, right? And that's how gratitude works. Because when you're focused on the bad things, it's literally just the same as focusing on red cars. You just see it all the time. But the thing is the decisions and mindsets you have are dependent on how you view things. So the example I could give is when I go through that eviction situation, everybody's like, oh, sell your car, sell this, sell that, sell that, sell that. But what people don't understand is that's a part of my content. That's what's going to make me the money. Like when I'm healthy and I can get my bike in the garage and I can take pictures on it for the spicy, that's what's going to bring in the money. Okay? So like I worked hard to get that. I need that. Although I can't ride it right now and it may seem like I should sell it, I'm not going to do that. Same with the Jeep because the dudes love the Jeep. I love the Jeep, but the dudes love the Jeep. It's a very specific Jeep, if you know, you know. But nonetheless, like it's a money piece for pictures and stuff like that. So it's like that's not the right frame of mind. I'm not going to be acting out of fear that I'm going to be homeless if I don't do you know, universe provides around. I don't know who the hell. Okay, that's the universe brings them to me. That's I attract, I do not chase, right? So if I'm thinking in the ways of like fear or lack or, you know, non-gratitude, I'm going to think in the ways of like, oh shit, I'm about to, you know, I'm going to whatever, all these bad things, you know, the worst case scenario. And both cases don't exist at that point. You can believe in the best or you can believe in the worst, but none actually exist at that point, you know? Sometimes they will, but there's always outcomes of that you can predict, you know, in a sense. But universe, whatever you want to call it, is teaching you lessons. So when something happens to you, it's so that you can make the best of it. Okay? Something bad could happen from it, but it's probably for the best of the situation. You wouldn't even know until, you know, 6 months down the line. And then you're glad that happened, you know? And very interesting art piece. Hold on, my thingy froze. Oh shit, I forgot to send that dude his pictures. There's a hair in my eye. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. My phone froze. Yeah, sorry. So anyway, but gratitude, it's not just woo woo. That's where I set out on my journey, because I wanted to find what was real and what was fake, right? And so the gratitude is not just woo woo. It's the gratitude is the subconscious. You're planting the subconscious so that when you make your decisions, you're making decisions not out of fear, not out of survival. You're making it out of love, trust, happiness, and the universe supports that. And it's not some man in the sky being like, yes, I support, yeah. It's much like a magnet, okay? It's just the universal law that when you have a magnet, that it finds the attracting end, right? There's no like, nobody can be like, no, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Okay, it's just the universal law of it. There's no person saying that is gonna happen or that's not gonna. It's just how it happens, right? And that's the same thing with energy. We are a frequency on our own, and we're putting out frequencies, and the universe is matching that, right? So that's where you have to start ingraining yourself with these beliefs, that you're worthy of these things. Because if you're depressed because of your environment and stuff, you need to change your environment. And you're probably like, well, it's difficult with work, blah, blah, blah. If you really, really want a good future for yourself and a happy future for yourself, prioritize that and start looking outside of the box. Okay, fuck what other people think. People are not happy. Do not let them try to determine your happiness. They don't even know their own happiness. Okay? So fuck what they think. If you need to go sell used women's shoes online to feed people and make shit ton of money, go do it. Who cares? Get out of that house. I don't care. Nobody has to know. But there's opportunities everywhere, and what's meant for you will be meant for you, okay? All you have to do is sit with yourself and ask, okay? And I know it sounds crazy, but they want it to sound crazy so that you don't connect with yourself. And people are scared to connect with themselves because, oh, they've made mistakes, they've fucked people over, they've hurt people, they've, whatever. But that's what makes you human. And I know that's so cliche again, but part of it, like, imagine you die and you're perfect, right? Part of the fun is being able to fuck around, because when you're perfect, you can't. You're perfect. There's like a certain law that you live by, I guess, that you're just perfect, So we get to fuck around and find out kind of thing, it's kind of fun. And I'm not saying go do bad things, but it's okay to make mistakes. You're learning, and that's the point of it. Even in the biblical terms, I don't know. In my mind, how I understand it is that God sent his son to die for us so that we can sin, so that we're not condemned when we sin, because he sent his son so that we are saved through all the sin. So sin away, dudes. Okay, that's part of it. It's the learning process, because that's what gets you back to God, is sinning and going through the depths and realizing that you have to trust the source and everything, whatever you want to call that, God, ultimate. And then you come back to him through those experiences of the depths and stuff like that. And however you want to correlate that, God, spiritual, whatever, But gratitude will get you closer to these good things happening. And it's not really just about faking it. You can't just be like, yeah, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that, In the Bible, it says God knows what's in your heart, and it's not really about, once again, some man. It could be, I don't fucking know. But we're human, so it could be a very well a manifestation of a human. I don't fucking know. But it knows what's in our heart, and that's just because of the energy. So find things that you're truly grateful for. You don't have to tell people. It doesn't have to be anything great. I'm grateful for the smallest things. Like when I take a shower, I'm so relieved to be able to take a shower. A, to be able to stand. For a bit, I was only able to sit in the shower because I had a little stool because my joints. And then B, I also have a shower to shower in. Like, I'm not homeless, thank fuck. So there's so much stuff you can find through your day to be grateful for. And it be true. Like, it doesn't have to be like, even when I feed the dogs, I'm grateful I can feed them good food, chicken and stuff like that. I'm so happy about that. And when I drive my car, I'm so grateful I fucking have a working car again. Fuck, you know? Little things like that. It doesn't have to be significant to other people. I'm so grateful I can sit on the toilet without it being such excruciating pain right now. Like, that would mean nothing to someone else. I don't give a fuck. It means something to me. Okay, shitting is a lot easier. That's for sure. So, you know, don't be your own hype man, as I say. Don't downplay the wins that you have. Okay, if you slept all day, be proud of yourself in a way that you prioritize self-care and rest and recovery. Okay, that's good. Most people don't need to sleep all day. If you slept all day, it's probably good because your body needed it. You know, maybe take it an extra step. Get yourself some vitamin C or something, you know. Some elderberry if you're not allergic to it. But nonetheless, you know, no one's going to save you, and I hate to say that. I wish I could come in and save you myself. But if I did that, then you would ultimately rely on me to save you, and you wouldn't learn how to save yourself and step up to the plate in ways that you need. Because I will never know ultimately what you need, and no one ever will. Okay, you might be lucky and find that person who knows everything about you. And until that day, you need to step up for yourself. Stop waiting for that person. Okay? And I know it's kind of harsh, but for real, it's miserable waiting for that person and expecting exactly the world ain't slowing down. Thank you, Bubba's, for the finger hearts. Thank you. Yeah, you just gotta show up for yourself. And the thing is people think, oh, I'm gonna have to do that for the whole time. And I thought that's what I thought. I went into it thinking, okay, whatever. People suck. They're not showing up for me. I'm gonna show up for myself. Fuck everyone. I did not know that showing up for myself would mean that a community would show up for me as a byproduct. I did not know that. Because that's what's here, this community, and that's why I'm fucking here with a roof over my head, a car. Everything that I have is because of you guys. So that's where it's like, okay, don't second guess the fact that once you take these steps that you're not going to be alone. First off, you have the universal source around you, whatever the fuck you want to call that, okay? You're not alone in that sense. There's something guiding you. You just got to trust yourself enough, and sometimes you're going to make mistakes. There is a point when I started this journey, spiritual-wise, that it started with just making left-hand turns in traffic. So I was like always second-guessing myself. And then I would second-guess and like almost get hit, you know? And I was like, okay, I got to just do my first gut instinct. And that actually helped me trust myself when it came to gut instincts with like making decisions in general. Did I make decisions that were based off of wrong gut instincts? Yes. And they weren't gut instincts. I had to learn what was what. You have to learn to differentiate. And that's part of the process. So you can't, mistakes are going to happen. You can't beat yourself up for the mistakes because that's part of you learning the ways for your journey and yourself, right? And so you got to figure out depression. Okay, what is it revolving around? For me, I know it was around my joints. Some people, like I said, it could be trauma, it could be lack of dopamine, it could be this, it could be... You got to figure that out. But you got to have the courage to win for yourself and not let these other motherfuckers, dictate how you're going to go in life. Win out of spite, if anything, of all the shitty people who've ever been fucked up to you. Win for the sake that you're gonna win, and that will make them feel awful when you do. If they don't see it, whatever. But B, the energy that happens with that is catalytic. So when you start propelling that way, the karma or whatever starts going to the people that need it, that hurt you or whatever. And it's not karma, it's not some person or anything like that. It's just the energy, literally. You serve as a catalyst. Everyone's a catalyst for everything. That's what it is. So in an energetic sense, quantum, whatever the fuck physics says, once you divert your energy, things behave differently, right? So stop focusing on that X, okay? Focus on self-love and taking care of yourself and what you need and fulfilling what makes you happy. Take yourself on dates, buy yourself flowers, show up for yourself, because then you'll start finding, okay, I want a partner who actually does like a lot more than this. That's how I discovered it for me. Like, my partner is going to have some high ass standards. Like, I want you to cook breakfast in bed for me every day. And make my smoothie for me every day. And my coffee every day. and rub my back every day and my butt cheeks. But anyway, um, but still, there's some man out there who's going to want to do it and 10 times as much, and he'll buy me cows whenever I want and buy me whatever the fuck I want. So, yeah. You just have to have these standards for yourself, and sometimes that means building it for yourself. Some of us don't get this luxury of meeting a partner right away out of high school or whatever, and but okay, you don't have that right now. That's okay. It's okay. You know, take this time, because a lot of people jump into things and they don't prioritize self-care. Like a lot of young women, they'll get married and they miss out on the apartment phase. The apartment, like having your own place, decor and stuff, like no shared space, And those are things that like you can relish in. Like take time to be like, okay, I'm single, I live alone, maybe I have roommates, but whatever it might be, like you're single and you're doing your own thing. You have a certain level of freedom, once again, that you would not have if you had a partner, right? And that's not bad to say it was limiting, it's going to be limiting or anything like that, no. But, there's things you can appreciate about the moment that you're in, right? So take advantage of it. Like you can go do whatever the fuck you want, literally. Go do it, okay? Go fucking do it. If you want to go take a road trip at midnight, go do it. Go be a little spontaneous for yourself. If you want to buy yourself some flowers and you're a dude, do it. Okay? If you want to cook yourself a nice steak dinner, go fucking do it. Start showing up for yourself, because then you expect that in other people. And you didn't show up for yourself, so you don't expect other people to show up that way. What about men? Same thing. This applies to any gender. But yeah, that's how I did it. I recommend men do the same thing. You know, if you need a day where you just need to cry and release emotion, do it. Self-care is that, You got to prioritize how you're feeling and everything like that. Because you don't have to cry to someone, but crying and then, okay, internalizing, like, why am I crying? What am I feeling right now? It helps you become more emotionally intelligent, and you're preparing for a partner coming in. Just think of it like that. Like, right now, I'm preparing for Spudgy surgery. I'm preparing for, like, good, successful month. Like, I'm keeping my home clean. My health is coming in. So I'm preparing for, like, my next to-do list. Like, get my bike work done. I got to get a new helmet, and because my one is cracked. But it's on the inside that's cracked. But, you got to think about the life that you want and start preparing for it in a sense. And so you start moving in ways that show that this is the life you want, and I trust this process. And the universe responds accordingly. I don't know how to describe that in a less woo-woo way, but that's how it is. But you just got to trust, that your happiness is deserved. Because then you'll move through happiness. You won't sacrifice it. Like, if someone irritates me, I will not hang out with them. If they do something that cues me of a certain thing, I won't, associate with them or whatever, I think Shuko's a great example. Sometimes I'll give a little, like, leeway, but I'm very strict about things because I want a very specific way of my life being. And I only want positive people around. You can't keep negative people around if you only want positive people around, So I only want, good intentioned, hearted people. The dog paw of comfort. Speak positive. Yeah. Hello, DC. Welcome in. Welcome in, you guys. We're on Twitch if you want to hang out too. But, like I said, depression or not, prioritizing your happiness is difficult because, like I said, people are not happy. They don't want to see you happy. And it offends them if you prioritize your happiness because it sheds light that they don't prioritize their happiness. And that sheds light on their view of their own worth and everything, and they know that, right? So they'll take it as an attack. They might insult you or whatever. Who gives a shit? If I need to sleep all day, then I'm going to sleep all day. I don't care what fucking 48-year-old Tom fucking Ford Jerry, whatever the hell, says with 38 calluses on his hand and goes to work for 80 hours a day. I don't care what he says because he probably hasn't dealt with an illness like mine for his whole life. Okay? you got to understand people are different and they're limited from their point of view. You got to stop caring what they think. Sit down with yourself and think about what you want, okay? I'm telling you right now. The reason why I'm telling you is because I feel like good things are coming in for myself, okay? And I feel like I'm about to prove it so heavily that if you prioritize your happiness, it's going to happen. And it's been about 2 to 3 years, okay? I did the lean into it, rip your band-aid off. It wasn't overnight, but 2 to 3 years versus 10 years, I'll fucking take it, dude. I'll take it, okay? So that's where I'm like, okay, you guys, if you are depressed, you know, a lot of it is chemical stuff. You got to fix the food you're eating. You got to prioritize your self-care. Does this food that we eat all the time taste amazing? No, but it's good for you. And think of it in that way. Like, you're grateful for it because it's nourishing for your body, you know? Hello, Patrick. Welcome in. You know, you got to revert your mindset with a lot of things and be grateful for them. Like, even rent, you know, before I was like irritated to pay rent. I'm grateful to pay rent this month. I'm so grateful. You have no idea. And I'm excited to earn rent, which, by the way, we are still earning for rent. So we're going to do $2,600. I have to email them tonight, or I'll see you. I haven't logged into my account. I've been so fucking busy finishing that art piece. It's technically not finished. I have to put more rhinestones on it. Nobody knows that, but still, well, you guys do. But, you know, when someone buys it, I'll bedazzle the hell out of it and send it out. The shipping alone it's heavy. Oh my God, is it fucking heavy? But anyway, so it's actually a bit of technique. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I'll check it out, beans. But yeah, you know, I'm speaking from experience. I know my depression is not the same as everyone else's depression. Okay, depression is very different. I think it's like a spectrum of things, right? It's sometimes severe, it's sometimes not severe, and it stems from different things. So, but what I'm telling you right now is, you know, doctors aren't going to be able to heal you as much as we want to think. You have to use your guidance, your inner self, to know, you know, oh, does this medicine work? No. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Okay. If it does, then great. You know, utilize that, and you can still get to the root core of your issues. And figure out why, you know, maybe you do impulsive things or toxic behaviors or have attachment issues, or why you choose certain people or habits or something like that, you know? Like, even eating, for instance, like the one thing that I don't like, but I love disciplinary practices. I always love that. I think that's coming from a military home. But I've learned with my health that having to be strict with eating is frustrating because dopamine is so huge with food, and that's why food is such a booming business. And I love that I'm learning this, because when I start a restaurant, learning the psychology behind food is so important. This is so important for me. And so, you know, at this point, I learned that a lot of my free time is filled with food because it's a dopamine thing, you know. But right now I have to be so strict and, you know, about my food and what I eat, so I can't get my dopamine fixed through food. So now I'm like, okay, what the hell do I do? I can't take my motorcycle out. I can't really work out. I can't really dance. And that's where I'm like, okay, let me focus on content, podcasting. Like, I feel good. So when I feel sick, I don't feel inspired to talk about anything. I just want to sit here and chat with you guys because I'm not feeling good. And you guys keep me feeling like kind of grounded and like in the zone a little bit more, a little positive, like my hype man, like as I say, you know. Feast of Bird and Rolling Stones. Hell yeah. Be careful, you can taste this trash. So, but yeah, honestly, you know, you got to pick your battles. It's hard to eat healthy. It's hard to be unhealthy, right? But which one has a better outcome, you know? Eating healthy, you can eat unhealthy, you know? And you can also eat healthy when you eat unhealthy, but the physical effects are different, right? So choose your difficult thing, you know? Being depressed is difficult. Choosing your happiness, whether you're depressed or not, is always difficult, because I'm telling you, people don't want you to be happy. Now, there are people who want you to be happy, okay? My homies want me to be happy. I want them to be happy, etc. But there are people who will talk down, talk fear into your plans because they sense it makes you happy or something, and it threatens something about them, okay? That maybe they're not doing something that makes them happy, or, you know, how dare you follow a trail of happiness instead of doing what you're told, working a 9 to 5, blah, blah, whatever it is, you know? So prioritize your happiness. Just sit down, turn on some music, get a blanket, get some candles, some good smells going. You know, I'm all about sensory stuff. So I love like a good smell, good feeling thing, maybe a little snack, some soft music as we have, good lighting. Sit down and really think about what you want. That's all that matters is what you. I don't care if you're married. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what you want. Okay? Because let's say I don't, this would never happen, but let's say I didn't want my dogs anymore. Oh my God, I could never. Oh, I love you. You know, people would be like, oh, that's sad, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, if that were the case, you know, they would go to a home that would love them more, assumingly, right? And I don't think that's possible. But I love you. You're so cute. I know you're hungry, buddy. I'm sorry. But because they probably deserve a tasty meal. But yes, hi beef. Oh, it's a big old stretch. I know. What? I know you're hungry, buddy. I know. I'm almost done. I love you. Um, he's so cute. I love them. But yeah, so, you know, when you do things in the best interest of yourself, it does impact people around you positively, I feel like, especially when you're leading with love and happiness. And, you know, I came into this conclusion a few years ago where I was like, you know, how does a fly gain consciousness, right? Like, how do you get something of that, like low consciousness to gain consciousness, right? And it might be more sentient than I even realized, but truth be told, my theory is it's love. It's, you know, when you love something, you give them the personality, the ways of knowing, the light of the universe, and it's a good healthy give and take, you know. So if you were to sit there and love a fly, even though it'd be short time, it would learn a bit more and be outside of its regular consciousness because it learned because of you. And that's, you know, when you're learning through love, and so it's so different. So, you know, I really think when you're leading through things that you love, you're happy, you know, those high feelings, those are what's going to lead you through those good things that are going to happen. But it's a process. You have to work through those lower feelings. And so like this depressive stuff that you go through, these are root issues that are somewhere in your body, and it's not all chemical. A lot of it will be mental. Like if you need a lot of dopamine, that's a trauma response to something, okay? Something in your life jacked up the adrenaline so much that now you need so much dopamine or whatever, adrenaline or whatever, cortisol or something. You need so much something to fill that, right? So it's really not normal to always be sensory seeking like that unless you got ADHD. No, I'm just kidding, but I mean it's true. Or ADD. So so you know it is normal, but it's not normal. You know, there's ways to regulate it. You can't always be sensory seeking because that's what leads to being impulsive and like skydiving and spelunking and then killing yourself. That's where I'm like, I could never go outside of my motorcycle. Like that's enough for me. I don't need to go that. But these people, that it's like a constant chase, okay? And if you don't learn to balance, much like the good and bad bacteria, you can try to kill all the bad bacteria, but that's antibiotics, and antibiotics can kill you because of how it targets the good and bad. So you need to learn how to neutralize, bring in the good to fight the bad, right? And that's the kind of same with this dopamine, serotonin kind of thing that you're doing with depression. You got to neutralize it, okay? It doesn't mean, you know, you got to go always sensory seeking. Sometimes it means you got to sit here and hone yourself down. You got to, you know. And I prefer more natural herbal things. I prefer lavender, smoking it. The other shrubbery I smoke, I like the ashwagandha. I like the shabidi, you know. So there's lots of ways to mitigate it. I'm not saying Western medicine is bad. Like I said, I'm on Western meds right now for my joints. I think there's a beautiful way to balance both. I think we're conditioned to think it's one Western and nothing. That holistic is too woo-woo, but you need both a lot of times. And sometimes, you know, if it's not severe enough, then holistic will be just enough. But, you know, I just want to, you know, if you're depressed, you got to look at yourself as being like sick and doing the things that normal people are doing. You know, if you were to be physically showing these signs, people would look at you and be like, what the hell? Why are you at work? You know? So start giving yourself some credit where credit's due, you know, and be gentle with yourself. If you slept all day, don't be hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. First off, why would you make your work? Imagine this being your best friend and they're sick. Would you beat them up and be mad at them for sleeping all day if they're sick, especially if they needed it? No. Okay. And if you would be like that, then you should change that. But, you know, be easy on yourself. If you're sleeping all day, that is not normal, and I'm not meaning that in a mean way. It just means that if you're sleeping, that's you're prioritizing rest, and that's good. Your body needs it. So give yourself a pat on the back. That's why I'm always like, you know, even if you slept all day, like, yes, recovery, rest, that is so productive. The biggest philosophers and genius people prioritize rest, okay? And we don't because we're conditioned, but when you prioritize rest, the universe reacts accordingly, okay? And when you sit there and think like, oh, I'm doing this, but it's like such a waste, blah, blah, it's the energy that you're doing it in, okay? So you can prioritize rest and just be grateful. I could be homeless and not have anywhere to really rest, you know? Or like, thank God I can rest. Thank God I can take a nap right now. It feels so good. I'm grateful I can prioritize and have sleep right now, you know? So revert it in your mind to be grateful that you can sleep and take time to recover and stuff. And I feel like things will shift from there. And that's how gratitude works, you know? You're grateful you can rest, so you rest more, and then you start choosing decisions that kind of align with that. Like, okay, like I want to do a little more self-care. Like my body hurts, I want to do a bath, you know, or I want to go get a massage where maybe you usually wouldn't. And then you start doing things, eating different, you know? You start doing, maybe drinking less or quitting cigarettes or, you know, it always correlates one to another to another. It's a domino effect. And when people go through their spiritual journey, they say, like, once the snowball starts, it never stops. So that's where it's like you got to just get that snowball started and it'll go, okay? It's hard, trust me, I know. I was there because it's like physically in pain. People are like, "Oh, you got to get moving." And when I correlate it to that, JD Carr, hello, welcome in. When I correlate it to that, it's like, yeah, it's hard to get moving. And people are like, you got to move. It's the best for you. It's hard. Yeah, it is hard. You got to do it though, little by little, the little steps. Trust that these little steps are doing good for you and pat yourself on the back. Even when you make yourself a meal and you're not feeling hungry, but you know you need to eat, be proud of yourself. Hell yeah, I'm doing the thing, dude. I'm sick right now and I'm taking care of myself. That's badass. Okay, usually people need others to take care of themselves. So if you're in that boat, then hell yeah. Okay, if someone's taking care of you, then be grateful that you have a community helping you take care of yourself while you're sick. You know, you just got to find the things to be grateful for, and it'll subconsciously rewire your brain into choosing decisions that align with that. And that's how I've gotten here. Because I'm like, I deserve to be in a house that's not moldy, blah, blah. I want to be in a house. I want to have a yard. I want a garage. I want a space that I can create in, you know, and just be me and do photo shoots and have fun, right? And have a beautiful cooking space and everything. And I didn't have many expectations when I moved here, but I was blessed with that. But it's because I really worked on believing I was worthy of that. And there were so many people who thought like I was being lazy and entitled and whatever the hell they want to say. But I just stuck it out and kept believing in myself and kept believing the people who believed in me, you know? And I try to hold myself accountable in ways that, as many ways as I can, just so that I can make quick progress. That's the quickest progress I know how to do, is just hold myself accountable where it seems like I have a shortcoming, okay? Like, that's how I do it. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. Once again, everybody makes mistakes. We're all learning. There's no adult in this world who knows everything and has every answer. So that's where you have that comfort of like, if you fuck up, then oopsies. Someone else is fucked up too. That's okay. Doesn't make you any less or any less worthy of anything. You deserve all the good things, you know? So, hello, Anton. Ninja, hello. So that's, you know, you got to be your hype man. And I know the tummy demons are telling you, the brain demons, that you're not good, whatever, you made mistakes, they're cringy. Work through it, okay? Just feel it. Think about it. If anything, you don't want to think about it, okay? Think about it all the way through. As many perspectives as you can, okay? If you feel bad about it, then why do you feel bad? Think about why you feel bad. And what are you going to do now that you recognize you feel bad and you're identifying these emotions, what are you going to physically do to get this out of your body? Are you going to cry, dance? Do you need to talk to the person, write a letter, whatever it might be, you know, healthy wise? Ride a motorcycle, go hiking and process through it, you know. Artwork, it looks like so many different ways, and you get to decide that, which is the beauty of it. But you got to be your hype man through this, and you got to start where no one's going to be your hype man. Okay, and I know that sounds shitty because we want people to come save us, but you got to save yourself first, and people will show up, I swear to God, because it's like you're so hidden in the darkness, people can't see you. Think of it like that, you know. It's not that they don't want to, it's just that maybe they don't know how to, or you're just too deep in the cave that they can't get you out. You got to make yourself known, not known, but like you gotta stand up for yourself and do the things for yourself, and that inadvertently makes people see you, respect you, and see where the line is and stuff, and see your light, you know. And that way they start showing up for you. The right people show up for you. You can't grow without mistakes. Absolutely. Yeah, they're so important. And like, you know, honestly, I really think that just leaning into your mistakes is what's going to carve your path into good things. You know, where we think we're bad at stuff, maybe that's where we're supposed to learn those things more and lean into it. And you know, the things that we dislike, maybe we should lean into it, you know. And that's where I call like the lean into it, rip the band-aid off, dive into the deep end, whatever you want to call it, that method. Faithful, hello. I know, yeah, I was trying to get on at 5:30, but everything took so long. I'm still not done with everything. I still have to make my smoothie, feed the dogs, meditate, and whatnot. We're going to be on a lot tomorrow, next day, and the next day because I got to earn for rent. So we're going to be working on art pieces, chitter chatting, earning for rent, and stuff like that. But yeah, I had to take a pause and do a lot of content and work on these art pieces now that I'm feeling a little better. So, but yeah, I hope you're doing well. Oh, it's 12 a.m. Damn. Yeah, it's about 9 here, 9 p.m. Yeah, when you guys are depressed, if you are depressed, you know, just you gotta prioritize yourself. And I know it's difficult in this world, but that's the whole point of it. If you don't, it's gonna swallow you alive because it's the depression is what makes the money. It's what's driven with the fear and the survival and everything. You know, when you start getting out of that, you start making the money work for you and it starts coming in for you, you know. I'm not rich yet, but I'm gonna be. Okay, you bet your bottom dollar. I feel very rich now, I'm not gonna lie, but I know financially speaking, obviously I don't even have rent. So, yeah. But, you know, like I said, it kind of sucks. We want people to care. Get rid of that external validation. Who cares? No one's, you know, just think no one's going to care, but you should care. Show up for yourself because there's too many people who try to tear you down, and you showing up as a powerhouse yourself is even more empowering, okay? But yeah, honestly, just whatever you got going on, I say lean into it in a weird way. You know, if not substance abuse and stuff like that, nothing like that. Don't lean into the bad thoughts, you know. But, you know, be there for yourself. If there's no one there for you, be alone then. Be there for yourself. You know, if no one's going to be your hype man, be your own hype man. Be there for yourself. And start talking to yourself in good ways. If no one's going to talk to you good, then fine. You talk to yourself good. And then fine. Stop allowing yourself to be around people who talk to you shitty, even in sly jabs and whatever like that. You know? Twist schedule because I'm older and I read, so I hope you're well. Oh, imagine when you say you're rich now, time is illusionary. Yes. My phone fucking freezing. I'm a little bit behind on messages, I'm not gonna lie. So I'll get to my messages. I have to send some messages to some people today too. So I'll get to them tonight as much as I can. Sorry about that. My phone froze. I agree, Faithful. Magically speaking, you say you're rich now. Time is illusionary. Universe is mine and thoughts are 100%. Sorry, yeah, my phone froze. Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, honestly, like I'm just trying to prove the process to you guys, and I feel like when I'm wealthy, you guys will see that okay, like she did that shit. And then hopefully you guys take even more action, but even depressed, not depressed, okay? Prioritizing happiness is going to be difficult. but you got to do it, okay? Because if you want better, then you got to do better for yourself. Only you know what that looks like. You got to get rid of the external validation. No one knows what that looks like for you, okay? You know what you want. You could try to explain it left and right to people, but they only know a glimpse because they only see it through a perspective of what they're looking at through their lens, their projections, their lifestyle, and what the glimpse of what you're telling them. They don't know the whole vision. Like, I could explain to you guys in depth my restaurant as much as I could, and then ask you guys to sketch it out, and you guys would sketch out a different restaurant, each and every one of you. And then if I showed you what I had, you'd be like, oh, you know what I mean? It's like telephone in a way or something. So it's not that people are trying to do it out of maliciousness or anything. It's just that they don't understand. Almost daylight savings. Oh, nice. I don't think Arizona celebrates that. They don't understand from your perspective. So it's not that it's no use explaining. I don't mind explaining to y'all and stuff. Is what it is. Who understands, they do. If they don't, whatever. But I do it more so you guys know what my plans are. Hi, weirdo. You're scaring me. That was freaky. But I love you. I know. You know, you just have to love yourself enough to trust that this is what you want. This is what you're going to go after. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. And then do it. Doesn't matter what mom and dad says, wife, whatever. And I know that sounds wrong, but people who really love you and respect you and want you to do things that make you happy will support it. Now, that doesn't mean violating fucking trust and stuff in relationships, okay? But nonetheless, you know, interfering with your manifestation. That's the thing, you don't tell people what you think when you speak on stuff. I suppose I think of it differently. I don't think, well, yeah, I think of it half and half. I give people information and I let people know what I'm doing, but not like to an extent. Like my art piece, for example, like I told you guys I was working on art pieces. You guys don't know what they look like or anything. Same with the restaurant. You know, you guys know what I want to do, but you don't know what it looks like. You don't know the details of the food that's served, the menu, or anything like that, you know? So, like, I don't mind speaking it into existence, but there's, like, a fine line because you know, people, that evil eye energy is real. People will sabotage it or whatever. Or they just speak fear into your plans or whatever. And sometimes you can alter your course and, you know, as Faithful said, interfere with the manifestations. Everyone has a different perspective, which is why communication is key. Very true. It's very true. But yeah, to be honest, you guys, I don't know who's depressed and who's not. You don't have to tell me. But if you are, I just want to let you know you're doing great. It's not the end of the road, okay? As cliche as it sounds, it gets better, but you have to want better, okay? If you think, no, it's not going to get better, it's always been like this, it's not going to get better. I've had this physical illness since I was 6, and I could very well think, oh, it's always been like this and never going to get better. But in my body, in my bones, in the bottom of my gut, I've always felt that this is not forever. I'm going to get better. And you have to tell yourself you're going to get better, and you have to have the intention to get better. Because if you don't want to, then you won't. Okay? It's very simple like that. So if you really want to, start taking the course of action to do it. Depression or not, it's going to be difficult. Okay? But I encourage you to do it. And if anything, you're here and you're watching this, and there's a whole community of people that are here to back you up. Because that's what they are here for me. That's how I can speak on this so confidently and so, you know, it's just like testimony to me because I really just wanted to be there for myself because everybody fucking abandoned me. Every person that I handed my trust to, they dropped it and threw it around and used it. So I just put it into myself. And then I didn't expect a community to come with. I really thought I was going to have to earn this restaurant shit myself. I was going to have to do it all myself. Literally, I shit you not. And then a fucking whole community of the best people I've ever come to know has come out of the woodworks and just helped me through this in so many ways. Mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, everything. And it's like, literally even helped me build my PC. Like, it's beyond amazing when you just trust the universe. It provides more than what you could even imagine, you know? And it takes a certain level of trust. But it's really trusting yourself. It's not, you don't have to trust in a God or anything. You just got to trust yourself. And it flows through because you trusting yourself is the universe. You are the universe. You are God, you know. you taking steps to take care of yourself and trust that this is investing in myself is good. This is for my future and this is for the best of myself. And you can't lie to yourself. You can't be doing toxic things and be like, yeah, I'm going to drink a whole bunch and this is investing in myself. Maybe a beer every couple weeks or something like that, or some, I don't fucking know, every week or some shit. I don't know. Be honest with yourself. Don't enable yourself in ways, but really you have to, you have to be there for yourself. And I want to say we're going to be there for you, but at the same time, everyone in this community has a life of their own. So like if you're having a crisis, I'd love to say like you could come in and chat with the Discord and stuff. But let's say someone's not there. Like you need to know that people here care about you. We care about your well-being, and we want to see you do what's best for you, and only you know. And we trust your path. We trust that you trust your journey, and to make the right decisions and to know the best decisions for yourself. And you got to start being your hype man in that way, talking yourself down, because you have a good community of people. But it starts with surrounding yourself with a good community of people, because you could have us, but the people in your immediate life, maybe they're not so good. And the things that they say to you, the thoughts that they are feeding you, those can most certainly leak into the subconscious and affect the kind of decisions you make, because you think, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't do that because like this and that. Sometimes I find myself not posting spicy content work because I'm scared. Oh shit, what if my high school people do find this? I'm like, well, wait, I've been doing this for 3 years now. If they haven't now, then whatever the fuck. Who gives a shit? So it's like you really gotta be your own hype man. Stop giving a shit so much about what other people think and do what makes you happy, because indirectly that will make others happy. But focus on your happiness. Stop giving any little crumb of happiness that you get to someone else, and stop putting the happiness responsibility in other people's hands. Stop thinking a girlfriend's gonna make you happy, this is gonna make you happy, that's gonna make you happy. Happiness is here and now. I don't know how to say how many ways I'm happy. The dogs, my home, like just and that's just gratitude. Like just being happy where I'm at in the present. Like everything that's happening, my joints are good. Like, things feel good. I'm moving towards my goals. There's so many things to be happy and in love with and joyful and everything about. And you got to search for it. Sometimes it's hard to find. But even as simple, if you're eating shitty food, at least you have food. Like I drive past Dunkin', there's always like homeless people digging in the garbage. At least you're not them. It could be you. And people will be like, yeah, but I have this shit. Well, that shit, a lot of those people would really like to eat, okay? You gotta start finding a place of gratitude to anchor yourself down in, and practice that on a daily, because it really redefines the path. And that's where like Anthrorat talked about writing 3 things down that make you grateful. And that's something I would do on a daily, is 10 things every day, list what I'm grateful for, like truly grateful for. It doesn't matter how stupid. Like if I was able to go to the park today, yeah, I'm grateful I was able to go to the park. That was so fun. I enjoyed my time. Like so grateful I was able to take time for myself for that. Well, whatever. In that sense, it's that simple, but you have to do the work to do it. It takes discipline to do it, sticking with consistency and doing it, because it's rewiring, it's habitual, it's legit like pseudoscience rewiring. You got to do it for like 3 weeks consistently for it to be a habit and ingrained in your body and mind. Kayla, hello, how you doing? Yeah, it could always be worse. And I say that a lot. Like, and I think a lot of people think that's like in a victim way, like, oh, like as if their situation doesn't suck. No, your situation sucks, but it's meant to utilize it in a catalyst way where, okay, like for me, yeah, my joints hurt, but I could be fucking paralyzed, like, and that would suck even more. So you could always have it worse. So then it helps you be a little grateful for what you have. Like I could be homeless. I could be having no food. It could always be fucking worse. So that way it helps you keep in check. Okay, well, I'm grateful for what I have. I'm so grateful for that, because There's a lot of people wishing that they had what I have, you know? And I'm beyond grateful for. And there's a point in time when I wish that I had what I have right now, you know? So being grateful for the things that you have is the part of it that it's difficult, especially when you're depressed, because the fucking tummy demons. But when I'm saying this, I mean this full-heartedly. Get yourself some yogurt probiotics, okay? Just some live culture yogurt, okay? Or maybe the probiotic Activia, and maybe a salad. Just those, you need a plant fiber and probiotic kind of yogurt thing going on, okay? And if you're lactose intolerant, try fermented probiotic rich like veggies and stuff, kimchi, kombucha and stuff. Okay, you need those probiotics to fight those bad bacteria. Okay, maybe cut the sodas down, cut the energy drinks down, cut the fast food, fried food down. Okay, I know it's not fun, but if you want the sustainability and the longevity of it, this is what's important. Okay, and it's what's good for you. Ollie Pro and probiotics work amazing. They taste like gummy peach. Nice. I'll have to try them. Yeah, I prefer in the food way because it's less risk. I don't really know. I really enjoy your lives here. Aw, I appreciate you, Kayla. I hope you're doing good today. Ka-chow, Memphis, hello. Welcome in. But yeah, you know, I know a lot of people deal with depression and there's, like I said, no overnight cure. And I'm not saying get off your medicine or anything, but I'm telling you from experience, this is how I got over my depression and the things that I've realized. Very gut microbiome related, your brain nerve endings, and in the tum-tum, okay? So take care of your tummy. Okay, I know fast food is hard. I find myself eating McDonald's a couple times a week, maybe once a week, you know, at this point. No, I'd say a couple times a week. I'll go for a hash brown a couple times a week. Nothing too crazy, but you know, I eat a lot. I drink a lot of coffee in the day. You know, it's not easy, especially with all the abundance of over gluttonous foods. It's difficult to really just want to prioritize like being so strictly healthy. I get it. So your best bet is incorporating good stuff, right? And tell yourself you deserve those good things. Spend the money on it. Get some yogurt in your system. Get some fiber in your system through plants. Okay, don't go eating Fiber One bars or anything like that. You can, but don't rely on those for like. I enjoy Fiber One bars as like a treat. You know, it's healthier than, you know, a brownie, but don't rely on those for your fiber, please. I know some people use mucilal or whatever the fuck. You can get fiber by eating an apple. Eat a whole apple a day. Eat a couple apples a day. Okay. Or just eat an avocado a day. Eat a salad a day. Okay. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. But the fiber is so important because the fiber is the food for the good bacteria. That's your prebiotics. So when you send those in, those are needing food to give them fuel to kill the bad bacteria. So it's so important for that. And that will just start turning your mental health around a little bit just through the gut biome. Many meals taste like shit, right? Having a very good day. Yay! I'm glad to hear it. Yay! I love it. Thank you for all the likes, you guys. But yeah. And if there's people in your life who don't really care about you, don't worry about them, okay? I know it sucks to have people not care about you, but let's be realistic. If your name was mentioned to everybody in this world, how many of them would be like, okay, I don't care. You know, not in a mean way, but a lot of people are worried about their own. And so worry about your own. It's okay, okay? You worrying about yourself and worrying about your well-being is benefiting others because when you're sick and stuff, you are a different person to be around, right? So being the best version of yourself is a benefit to those around you. So you gotta prioritize that and trust that you deserve that, whatever it looks like. Doesn't matter how ridiculous. Let me tell you how ridiculous I want my life. I want to be a millionaire. I want to have my commune. I want to have like 4 restaurants. I want to have a farm, maybe like 4 cars. I don't really have any hyper sports cars, just like certain cars that I want. be in remission, be able to give waitresses $1,000 randomly whenever. I don't give a shit. Random people buy them stuff. I want to be like Mr. Beast billionaire in a way, you know, doing my content creating my whole life until I die. So, you know, you can be as unrealistic as you want because to me that's realistic. I can see it. Just because someone else can't I don't give a shit. So you create your life, you decide what you want. If you don't want to be depressed, then decide you won't be depressed. It doesn't mean right now you're not going to be depressed. It's going to be a process. But decide, okay, I don't want to be depressed. Okay? What is going to be the lifestyle that you live to where you're no longer depressed? What are you doing with your time? What kind of money are you making? What do you look like? What do you dress like? What do you smell like? You know, start thinking of that to embody it. You know, when I first started my journey of manifesting, like perfume was really important to me. I kept shopping at Bath and Body Works, but like it wasn't hitting the same. And then I realized, like Sierra, my bestie, she is like a perfume guru, right? And I realized, like, okay, I think I've graduated. I think I need perfume. And so now I smell in the way that I think the future me would smell. There's a little bit more that I want to explore more perfumes because I haven't dipped my toe too much into it. But like, I think it's very important to start preparing for the version of yourself that you want to become, right? So that means what you look like, how you dress, how you act, the daily duties that you do, like the daily routines that you have for yourself, the way you talk to yourself, the way you encourage yourself when people are trying to discourage you. Like I said, peace is so difficult. That's why war exists so abundantly, because if peace was easy, then it would happen, right? Think about when someone pisses you off. How difficult is it to hold your tongue and just whatever? You know, peace is difficult to choose, but choose it every time. Because you choose peace, peace will find you, okay? And that's just how it goes. Does it mean it's easy? No. People piss me off all the time when I'm driving. Are you fucking kidding me? But I choose peace. Because at least it's not me getting in a car wreck with them, right? I'm not instigating stuff. I'm just going to stay back and I'm going to choose to be peaceful and let people get ahead of me if they need, okay? Because it's not worth my life. It's not worth me wrecking my car. It's not worth any of it. I'm just going to choose peace, okay? And that's what it is in so many different ways in life, okay? So, like I said, depression, it's not easy, but choosing happiness, depression or not, is not easy, okay? But when you choose happiness, it's more sustainable rather than being depressed and miserable. For how long can you keep going? It feels like you can't, right? I remember being there. Odin! Stay out of the living room. I hope to God he did not piss in there. Sound like he was getting ready to. On the curtain. But like I said, you know, most people, they don't know what makes them happy. Don't let them dictate your happiness. They're going to give their opinion on it. Nobody asks. So just don't even give a shit what they think. Keep doing what you want, okay? Choose happiness. It's going to be difficult. But at the end of the day, like, it's difficult to deal with trolls and stuff. But do you think when I'm making these 50K months that I dream of, do you think I'm going to give a shit what these trolls think? Because I'm fucking happy. I'm happy right now, even without the 50K. And then I imagine with the 50K, oh my god, okay? So it's like, fuck what people think. Choose happiness, choose peace for yourself, because that benefits those around you, okay? I promise you that. Anywho, I'm starving. I'm going to shut down for tonight because the dogs are hungry too. I'm going to be on a lot tomorrow, the next day, and next day we're going to be streaming for rent. So feel free to join along. You don't have to donate if you don't want. You guys just being there helps me, and it just gives me some people, some things, whatever to talk about, talk to, you know. So if you're depressed, just know I'm proud of you for making it through, okay? You're doing great. Give yourself a pat on the back because you're literally sick doing the same shit that other people are doing day in and day out. That takes some fucking strength. That takes courage as fuck to trust that, okay, something better is coming. You're doing that shit, okay? So trust that you're doing the good thing. If you need a community to talk to, there's the Discord, which is in my link tree. We're here for you. Feel free to reach out in the main chat. Just be respectful and kind and appropriate. Get yourself some probiotics. in food form, not supplement form. Get yourself some plant fiber, okay? Tell yourself you deserve to self-care and that you're worthy of it. Drink some water, you know, take care of yourself because people won't, okay? But when you start showing up for yourself, other people will show up for you. So don't think you're alone in this. It's not going to be forever. The battle does end in a good way. You don't have to just completely kerplunk off the earth, okay? You can overcome the depressive obstacles because tons of people do it all the time, and so can you. But if you guys need someone to talk to, trust there's people in the Discord. But just know I love you. I think you're doing great. You're doing strong, good things for yourself, even when you sleep all day. Rest is recovery. Don't forget it. Make sure you take some vitamin C too. It's really good for you, especially this time of year. It's getting colder and stuff. You know, airborne pathogens and shit. People are getting sick. Those children with their nasty ass fucking open mouth cough. Ew. Anyway. So I'm going to be on tomorrow for a good amount of the day. I don't know when, but I got some art pieces to do and stuff. So we'll see how tomorrow pans out, but I got to focus on art nonetheless. Maybe a miracle will happen tonight and someone buys my piece. That'd be so cool. I'd cry. But nonetheless, you will see me tomorrow. We'll talk about good things. And yeah, but you guys have a good night, good day, wherever you're at. Take care of yourself. Hydrate, eat, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. And just know I'm proud of you, if anything. You're getting through the days and you're doing the thing, okay? That takes awesome balls, all right? I love y'all. Take care of yourself. Check out my YouTube. I got new videos. Link in my bio. Yada, yada, yada. And check out my art piece. You don't have to buy it, but the clicks on my piece, it helps. So I appreciate y'all. You guys are great. Take care of yourself. Proud of you. Stay sexy. Bye-bye.